you posed this question about why do we serve? And I've the opportunity right now to be on several boards. And I've had several people ask me, why do you serve? Why do you do that? And I said, I just kind of look at them and say, why don't you? And when I think back on it, it's all about what matters to each of us. And this, especially the commodity groups, this is our livelihood. This is why we're able to do what we do. And if you look back, I don't even 30, even less years, we wouldn't have near the international markets that we have without board members serving on any number of commodity group. We wouldn't have half of the products that have been developed because of these types of boards and what they're promoting and who they're talking to. And I'm just, the reason I serve is I'm excited. I really, in particular because of sorghum and how it's always been there forever and how it's exploding in the marketplace. And, we're kind of the ugly stepchild, and why not, really take it, to the moon and race off with it. Another reason I serve is when I got started, my dad told me when I mentioned this or that, and he goes, everybody has to take a turn. And that stuck with me because there aren't a lot of us, and it gets smaller every day, producers that are actively engaged in agriculture and developing the products. And if we aren't all contributing at one time or another, we're going to just fall behind. And I would ask everybody, if you really can't do it right now for one reason or another, mark the calendar when your district position is coming back open so that you can look a year ahead and say, it's time for me to do this. What steps do I need to take? Rather than it being, we got a week, can you do it? And be engaged and be involved before you need to be. And the last thing I would tell everybody is, if you can't serve right now, make sure you're thanking the people that are, because it's not easy necessarily, but I guarantee you they're doing their darn best. And the other thing, one last thing, if you aren't at the table, you can't be involved in the conversation. And so you can't come back and yell if something hasn't happened. So just remember that and know everybody's doing their best that we can do on these boards, and that we need you and your participation at any level.
I serve for the Nebraska Grain Sorghum Board because I'm a firm believer in being a leader, and not to being, I say a follower, I guess, per se. I've always been that type of person, and I enjoy, I'd say, getting my hands dirty. It's not really easy to complain. You're sitting in the back row. It's much easier to do it when you're in the front row. And I say complain, not that I've ever complained really, but it's just you have no reason to complain if you're the one leading the charge. And I'm a firm believer in public service. I've served on the school board for 4 terms. And I understand that it's important to give back. And it's always hard finding those certain individuals who want to do it and get their face out there and their name out there. And sometimes you have some mud slung your way. And lots of times you get praises that this job here is excellent. I've never had a real struggle with any other growers or organizations. It's always been very positive and wonderful. And it goes back to just public service is so important, and I'm a firm believer everybody should try it at least for a little bit and do that. And expand here a little bit. Some of my best memories being involved in the last 8 years serving on the state checkoff board probably would be the leadership sorghum that I did. It's probably been 6 years ago, I believe. I was in the initial class of Leadership Sorghum 1. And through that, one of the benefits of this job is you get to meet so many people, you get the opportunity to travel if you want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. With traveling leadership, we travel across the United States all the way from Washington, D.C. to Houston, Texas, and learned about everything and met so many people. And on a personal level, I bring that back to my operation, and it gives me the opportunity to think outside the box a little bit and hopefully make myself and my other fellow growers, when they come ask me questions, make them all better growers.
I joined the Sorghum Checkoff Board in 2000. I was given the opportunity by Dwayne Jones. He wanted me to replace him, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity for me to get off the farm and to grow as an individual and a leader. And I took the chance and took a lot of growing. I did a lot of growing. Then I switched from the checkoff board to the producers, and it's kind of a more relaxed bit there with the producers and the checkoff board. We don't have to worry about the money and the budget as much. One of the reasons why I did decide to be on the producers is to help Nebraska farmers and help them to, be more profitable and hopefully make more money and give them another option for another crop. Because sorghum was kind of put back behind corn and soybeans as Roundup Ready resistance came into play. So I've been out there trying to help promote sorghum and give another option. But going out and meeting new people and seeing new things and getting involved with the promotion side of agriculture and like the U.S. Grains Council and the National Sorghum Producers and the National Sorghum Checkoff Producers, seeing what goes on and getting involved with government, doing the DC Alliance.
The reason why I serve on the Nebraska Sorghum Board is growing up, we always had sorghum on the farm, and it was an important part of our rotation. And because of growing up around it and raising it all the time and seeing the benefits of it being in the rotation, at that point in time, I didn't understand why it helped the way it did. And then, I went to school, got my agronomy degree, and then I worked in the industry for a while before I returned to the farm. And even now, as I continue to learn about soil health and those things, it further reinforces why I like to have sorghum in my rotation on the farm, both on my conventional acres and on my organic farms. And because of that, and because of my past experiences in industry, I feel like it allows me to have a unique perspective on the crop, and I can bring some things to the table that maybe other guys in production don't have. And it might sound a little uppity when I say that, but not very many people go work for the seed company and the research department in sorghum and then come back to the farm, because sorghum is a smaller crop and there's not a lot of people that have done that in their lifetime. So that's one of the reasons why I like to serve, because I think I can bring a unique perspective, both from my research aspect and from being an organic farmer.
Scott Nelson and I serve on the Nebraska Grain Sorghum Board, and I've been doing it for, I think I'm going into my third year. And one of the main reasons I thought that it was a great opportunity when I was asked to do it was because I thought there would be a lot of things that I could learn, and in the process maybe help out some along the way. One of the things that I wanted to learn, because we raise sorghum mainly around seed corn isolation borders and in predominantly irrigated farm ground in south central Nebraska, and I wanted to learn more about how to raise it in a lot of ways and to be as productive as I could be in those areas. And so part of this service on the board I wanted to accomplish was learning how and helping others that were interested in doing that same type of thing, just to add another crop for our rotation in those borders instead of being continuous beans. And in the process, learn other things and help with marketing and just making sure that there's places to take sorghum if there's an opportunity to grow it. Make it as easy as it can be for new producers, creating resources and say that for growers to use to help be more productive. So bottom line, helping growers to be more productive, raising sorghum, and maybe understanding more about markets that they can use if they decide to grow it.